So today I'm going to talk about 8 bad habits that acquisition specialists develop over time and how you can change it so that both you and your acquisition specialist will thrive like none other. But before I jump into today's show, if you have not head on over to Next Level Wholesaling, you got to take the Next Level Wholesaling assessment. This assessment is going to have you rate yourself in the 4 core areas of your business. It's something that my mentor did for me. And so if you're looking to have a business that throws off cash month after month after month without your personal day-to-day involvement, you want free time, you want to reduce stress, you want a team who is doing deals while you are literally on vacation, you've got to take the Next Level Wholesaling assessment. Totally free. Going to take you 5 minutes. Go to nextlevelwholesaling.com. Take it and hit me up at Todd Toback on Instagram and let me know your score. Let me know what happened. Let me know where you need help. And man, I'd love to hear from you. All right, so let's talk about the 8 bad habits that acquisition specialists develop over time and how you can change it. Well, why is this important? Number one is that if you are an acquisition specialist yourself, and what I mean by that is if you are a solopreneur, most likely you are going to experience some of these, not all of them, but some of them. Or if you're an acquisition specialist working for a company or your acquisition specialists are working for you, you want to be able to spot these and nip these in the bud. All right. Now you may be thinking, Todd, you don't understand the situation that I'm in if you're an acquisition specialist. Well, I'll show you how you can handle some of the challenges in this that you face as you maybe are fighting some of this info. I'll say, but this is useful for business owners, for acquisition specialists, managers, and everybody who's involved in real estate wholesaling. All right, so first bad habit that acquisition specialists will develop over time is not setting up a follow-up task for every prospect they talk to. So when you talk to somebody and you have a prospect, at the end of every single conversation, you need to set up another time to speak with those people. Or let's say you're a part of a bigger organization, at least set up a task for somebody else to talk to those people. I see so many wholesalers and business owners across all business, they have these leads in there and literally they get buried and nobody's following up with them. And I can tell you, give me someone who's got 1,000 or 2,000 leads in their database and I could pull out 150,000 to 200 grand in a hot second because of the lack of follow-up. And leads really don't get followed up with because people aren't setting up tasks in some kind of software. By the way, I highly recommend that you have a software. So if you want to know the software we recommend, go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/CRM, nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/CRM, and never miss a lead. All right. So number 2 is not evaluating your 3 hottest leads every week. So something that we do in our company is every Wednesday, we have all the acquisition specialists bring in their 3 hottest leads, the 3 hottest leads they're working on from this week. And they tell the situation and then they say, okay, this is my next step. And this is the next step that I've given the prospect to do in between the next conversation. Now, this is a commitment on both sides. I commit to do this and the seller's committed to do this. And this is how we are moving forward to close that deal. It needs to be specific so that everybody knows the direction that this train is going, even if the direction is we're not doing business together, because that happens, but at least you're going to save some time. So as a business owner and an acquisition specialist, your most precious resource is time. Okay, you got to push that sale forward. You got to get commitments. You've got to close the gap, the time it takes to convert that dollar into 5. I talk a lot about this in the No Limit Selling System. If you have not invested in it, please, 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 please. It's a no-brainer. Invest in the system. The price, it's embarrassingly low, okay? NoLimitSalesSystem.com and check that out. Every Wednesday, Friday, or whatever day you can do it consistently, give me your 3 hottest leads. What's your next step? And what are you going to ask the seller to do, okay, on their side to move towards a sale or to go in a different direction? All right. Number 3 is not sending everybody an offer. Man, oh man. I got to tell you, this one right here is a lightning rod, because you want to find a way for you to literally piss away your money in the toilet. Then don't send everybody who you talk to an offer. Now, there are two kinds of prospects. There are the prospects that are really hot and warm, and you are walking these people down a path. And for those people, right, these are people who you know you're going to be doing business with. You're either going to get face-to-face with these people, or you're going to send a notary out there. And so an offer is made in person, or, you know, a notary is going to bring a contract to them. And that's one type of offer. But really what I'm talking about is the 80% of prospects that you talk to who you qualify as unmotivated. You're like, you know, this person's never going to do a deal with me. And so you bury that person in your database, and on the phone, they didn't sound that motivated. Here's the rub. Prospects lie all the time. Okay. And so hopefully you will get past that using the no limit selling system. I've talked about that. And there's a lot of techniques you can use to beat that. But a lot of times we don't. So how do you stop this? You send everybody an offer. Let me tell you a story. One of my acquisition specialists, Brian, was on the phone with a prospect. Guy did not sound motivated. Okay. They talked about price. We were way off. And I talked to Brian. He's like, this guy's not motivated. And he goes, do you send him, you send him an offer? He goes, no, we're way off on price. I go, that's exactly why you should send the offer. So Brian reluctantly sent the offer. He sent it. 6 days later, the guy calls us back and says, I'll take it. Right? Brian was totally flabbergasted. I wasn't. We wholesaled that deal and we made how much? $50,000. Okay? $50,000. And we almost threw this lead away. So you might be thinking, Todd, I don't have time to send everybody an offer. Well, two things. Number one, if you're using a tool like I recommend, a good CRM that can do it automatically for you, like you just press a couple of buttons, right? Go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/CRM. It should be doing that for you. In terms of, you got to tell it what to do, but it'll send it out. Or you can have a virtual assistant do it for you manually. I don't care how it gets done. Of course, we want to reduce the time it takes that, but you got to do it. And if you have acquisition specialists and they're not doing this, you are literally pissing money in the toilet. By the way, that's one of the reasons why you have to have a scorecard. You want to see how many offers you're setting up per week. So just FYI on that. All right. Number 4 is always looking for low-hanging fruit. This is really, really tough to hear. We want to be efficient with our time, right? But what I have found is two things. Number one, if you have acquisition specialists who are always looking for low-hanging fruit and they seem like they're rushing off the telephone, right, where they're not asking questions and they're basically looking for like the most motivated seller and they're not interested in talking to anybody else, this is like the most dangerous habit that you can get into. This is a sign of having too many leads, okay? If you are rushing off the phone with people and you are just like anyone who doesn't sound super motivated, you're like just getting off the phone with them, that's a sign that you've got too many leads and you are not following up properly and that you are rushed. So, number one, if you've spent money on marketing and your reps aren't converting, it probably means that you're spending probably too much on marketing, or excuse me, that you need to split that up amongst 2 or 3 reps. How do I know this? Well, every time I've seen this, I have then either pulled back my marketing, or this is a rod. This is a lightning rod, but it works. I take those leads and I give them to somebody else on my team to work. The leads that somebody else said, oh, there's nothing here, they're not motivated. And all of a sudden, boom, somebody else pulls a deal out of it. Now, you're thinking, oh, so-and-so would never do this. Yeah, so-and-so is doing that. They are just looking for the lowest hanging fruit, and so they are not working the leads properly. So, make sure your conversion rate is up to par. Listen to conversations for your people, role play them, look at the return. I don't care how long somebody's been with you or how good you think they are. Everybody needs to be held accountable here. So That's a big one. If you're a business owner, this one's on you. Next, FOMO, fear of missing out. There's a good chance that you or your acquisition specialist listen to podcasts or YouTube or social media about, the hottest new real estate investing strategy, or Bitcoin, or Airbnb, or ERC credits. And by ERC credits or whatever that means, I'm just talking about any business opportunity. Your people and you may be losing focus, right? Maybe we should go to 5 new markets. Maybe we should try this new marketing channel that we heard about when we haven't mastered the one that we're already on. Maybe we should add a new line of business to what we're doing. And I got to tell you, you got to have a plan, and you've got to work your plan. I had a student, his name is Matt, and he was struggling when we first spoke, and he had like all these little things that he had added to try and make more money. And I said, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, and get rid of this. I want you to pick a home market. I want you to pick one marketing channel. I want you to go all in and work every freaking lead. And then I want you to expand your deal size from 15,000 up to 50. Okay. The dude literally tripled his income within 90 days. Okay. You have to stay focused. Let's start there. And number 2, like 80% of your job is keeping your people focused. I had one acquisition specialist who I still get to work with. He used to work inside my company, and now he works outside, but we still do deals together. I still, as a leader, have to keep him focused on doing deals, right? On sticking to his one market, to focusing on the one marketing channel, to doing big, fat, juicy deals, to sticking with the sales system and role playing, back to the basics. And so you've got to stay focused, and then you've got to get your people to stay focused. And then if you feel unfocused, you need to shut the hell up and don't let your people see you unfocused. Because if you're unfocused and you got to get out of your system, get out of the office or get off the Zoom or get off the conference, right? Clear your head, get focused, and then come back and lead. All right? Keep them focused. All right. Number 6 is not practicing sales skills or recording. So it's really important. We train everyone on the No Limit Selling System, our acquisition specialist. If you don't have it, buy it. I think I've said that 3 times in your episode, on this episode. No Limit Sales System.com. But we train them all on that, and they start it and like, okay, we know it. No, you don't know it. You have to study this and practice it at least once a week, right? So what does practice mean? It means listen, then do, okay, then get evaluated, okay, and then start the process over again. So I highly recommend that you role play with your people at least once a week. I also recommend that you pull a recording of a call that you lawfully obtained, and then listen to that call and coach your people on that. So all of your incoming calls, when people call, you could say this call is being recorded for quality and training purposes. And you will have amazing recordings to coach your people on. Next, this one is tough. All right. So if you've ever hired people, there's usually a journey. And that journey starts off with thankfulness. And over time, what happens is you pour into people and they get better, and you pour into them and they get even better, and they pour into them and you get better. And chances are that you've made some money, hopefully a lot of money, and your people have also made some money. But over time, there's this little journey that comes from thankfulness to bitterness. Okay, thankfulness to bitterness. So all of a sudden, where people who watch you as the business owner, they don't understand the work and the risk and the energy and the time it takes to get where you are at. And sometimes there's the, hey, you're making the majority of the money and I'm not, which is not always the case. But sometimes they're going to go through this journey of thankfulness to bitterness. And some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because you're experiencing it. So here is my recommendation. Number 1 is invest in your people. Love them. Pay them well. Train them. Help them make as much money as they can while they're working for you. But nobody is bigger than the team. Nobody. What does that mean? It means that you are always going to be interviewing. Always. Okay. You're always looking for your next acquisition specialist. Because if someone leaves or they get bitter or they decide to do that, you want to be able to hire somebody else. But on top of that, okay, iron sharpens iron. So if you have somebody, you want always someone coming in to do deals and to really compete with who you have, right? Because almost always that person who's working for you is going to become bitter. Not always, by the way, but it's going to happen. Now, ironically, creating that competition is actually, this is the crazy part, is actually going to make the person who's already there better. So all these habits that I'm talking about, they're going to like start focusing on like doing the right habits and not the wrong habits. And they're going to stay on their game because they want to be number one. And so it's going to make them better. Because they're better, they're going to do better watching this other person is not their competition, but it will bring out the best in them. So always, always, always create competition. Avoid that journey from thankfulness to bitterness. If someone gets bitter, maybe they got to go. Okay. Don't make them bitter. Create competition. Okay. Create competition because when someone sees, hey, how much it takes to be successful, right? They see that also that somebody is right there to take their spot if they are not happy anymore. Okay. And so sometimes when people feel a little fear of loss, right, or the threat of loss, they will appreciate what they have. Now, I just want to be clear, pour into your people, love them, pay them well, right? Give them resources, help them to close deals. You wish the best, but just, you don't want to let your people think that they're the only game in town. Real important there. All right. Number 8, and my final one, bad habits, is doing small deals. Okay. Eensy weensy tiny little deals. They're the worst. Okay. It will break your business. It will break your people. It will burn them out. Set a standard. Sometimes I see when people, maybe they get a dry run, is they'll just like take anything. And my goal for you is to do $50,000 deals on every single deal. Okay. You want to strive for that even more. All right. Raise the bar. Big, fat, juicy deals. Always remind your people of the standard. If they don't understand or they're like, I forget, go over the rules, go over the sales system, teach people how to negotiate, how to offer value, how to not be scared to lose a small deal. Give it to your competition. Let your competition fight over the small deals. You go look for the monster, okay? You are the elephant hunter. All right, so 8 bad habits. Number 1, not setting up a follow-up task for every lead. 2, not evaluating your 3 hottest leads every week. 3, not sending everybody a written offer, even if they sound unmotivated. 4, always looking for low-hanging fruit, rushing through prospects. 5, FOMO, right? Not having focus. 6, not practicing the sales skills or evaluating recordings. 7, the journey from thankfulness to bitterness. And 8, basically, by the way, I'll go back to that, not always interviewing. And that's really on the owner, not the acquisition specialist. 8, and then doing small deals and really negotiating small spreads. So don't forget, buy the No Limit Selling System. Head on over to nextlevelwholesaling.com. Check it out and take the assessment. Let me know your score, and I will talk to you on the next episode.